What's up, everybody, and welcome to Bios3 Raw TV. Today we're going to talk a little bit about fat gain delay and metabolism. Now, what is fat gain delay? Well, let's explain that first. Well, first of all, let's understand we're talking about metabolism, and everybody's different. So this is not a definite be-all, end-all. It happens to everybody in the world, but the majority of people this does happen to. And we're going to use an example of a recent client who had name withheld, because it doesn't really matter his name. And he was dieting for a competition. Now, it got to the point where he was getting there very depleted, but his conditioning was going to be the factor whether or not he placed well. He did wind up winning, but that's beside the point. But you get to this point in your diet where you're very depleted, mentally drained, and you don't feel well, and you just feel like, fuck it, I just want to eat something, and it's not usually a baked potato or chicken breast that you want to eat. It's something bad. Yes, there is bad in good foods when you're getting your body in shape. Okay? Things that respond better than others. Now, what this individual did was he went ahead and had some of these quote-unquote cheat foods, and he decided for the first time he ate it, he looked a little better. It's a little more sodium, a little more carbs, filled out. I said, whoa, and then the next day when he got up, he said, it didn't really affect me. Fuck, I look good still. I'm right on point still. So that day he did the same thing. Excuse me. Had the cheat foods again. Now, the third day he got up, he was like, still not affecting me. I'm going to do it again. I think I can get away with this. Third day is when he started to bloat up. Now, some people may be, well, Jerry, it's just an added calories. Now, as you increase foods towards a competition, your metabolism will actually get faster until it doesn't. Now, there's a delayed reaction the way the body uses food. And you see this a lot due to the fact that a lot of people try that old school deplete for 3 days before the show, load for 3 days, and they start out with like let's say they're on 100 grams of carbs, they drop them to like a zero as close to zero as they can get for 3 days. Then they load with like 600 grams or 400 grams, and then down to 200, so, Thursday, Friday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or they try to carb up instead of reverse carbing where they'll go, 200 on Wednesday, 400 on Thursday, 600 on Friday. In dimes to dollars, almost every time the person misses that fucking peak, it looks like shit on the day of the show. Now, after the show, they go to eat. Sunday, they usually look better. Monday, they usually look better. Tuesday, they usually look really good. And as the week goes along, you'll see them get better. Then all of a sudden, it starts to peak. And then they start to look worse the next week. So the second week, they start to look worse. What is that phenomenon? You can't fucking load your body in 3 days with carbs. It doesn't work. There are very few people whose metabolisms are fast enough to jam a shitload of carbohydrates in there, get them into the muscle, fill out, and then cut your water. It's very difficult to hit that peak. And that's why so many people come in depleted or just bloated and fat because they cannot time that right. There's no time for the body to store all those foods. A lot of times people try to weigh in Friday night and quote-unquote carb up overnight. Well, they're still not fully carved up. They're still going to look better Sunday, still going to look better Monday, still going to look better Tuesday. Why? You want to look on Saturday like you did on Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday. But why doesn't that happen? Because there's not enough time for the body to carb up and use those nutrients to fill the muscles out. Now, there's a delayed reaction. But after that delayed reaction, when the body technically gets full and doesn't need them anymore, it switches on a dime. It's almost instantaneous. Like, you look good, Wednesday night when you go to bed. When you get up Thursday, you're bloated and feel like shit. Like, what the fuck happened overnight? The body changed. Now you have a period that if you went back on your diet right then and there, Thursday you're not going to look any better. Friday you're going to look a little bit better. Saturday, you'll see it takes time again. Now, what happened to this individual was his body bloated and he freaked out. And he said, fuck, what the hell's going on? It didn't, and he came completely clean and was like, this is what I did and this is what happened. I mean, if he had lied about it, it would have been very difficult to fix the problem. But as, he explained what happened, I said, well, this is why this is happening. Do you understand now that even one meal a day won't show up for one day, won't show up the second day, but the third and fourth day, it will actually show up. So you have a period of time where you can get away with it. And that tricks you into thinking that you can get away with it. And you say, this is good. I can have this meal every day, and it's not going to hurt me, and this will get me through to the show. But all of a sudden, the effects are seen like that on your body, and you're like, fuck, now what you do is panic. People usually panic. And they up the cardio, and they drop the carbs, and they fucking go crazy trying to get that off. Well, what do you think's going to happen? Slowly, the body's going to switch back the opposite way, and all of a sudden, in 3 days, it goes back the opposite way. Now you look depleted, small, skinny, like shit the opposite way. So now you have these these two different directions the body goes, but it takes a few days for it to catch up. So understand that, this is a very big pitfall for many people where they do that 2 or 3 days of eating whatever, and they're like, oh, I can get away with it. And then they wake up and they're like, oh, fuck, something happened. What did I do? Oh, my God. Then they go backwards the opposite way, and they wake up and they're like, fuck, I look even worse. And they get frustrated, and they either flip-flop back and forth and don't make any progress, or they just say, fuck it to either way, and then really look like shit because they just start eating. They're like, fuck it, it's not working, I don't care. So be aware that there is definitely that delayed reaction time that you gain fat. And to me, many people are like, Kari, you don't even know what you're talking about. Just because you were taking water doesn't mean you're gaining fat. Let me tell you something. There are signs of your body all the time that let you know what's going on with it. Do you think that fucking you gain fat being shredded to fucking pieces? Like you are fucking peeled and dry and hard, and all of a sudden one day you wake up and you're fucking gaining fat? No, there are signs that your metabolism is changing, going from being a fat-burning fucking machine into storage mode. And that bloating is one of them. Otherwise, why would it be happening? An increase in calories doesn't make you bloat, or otherwise that first fucking meal you had, which would probably be 500 calorie increase because it's all junk, would make you bloat in the first one. But that's not what happens. You don't retain water under your skin. You actually get drier and harder. Your metabolism actually speeds up. It only happens, that bloating and that water retention only happens when the metabolism starts to slow down and it's trying to digest the foods, and it causes an inflammatory response from the extra food that causes the water retention. Now, some people are like, Kari, that's all sodium that causes it. You're fucking stupid. Dude, we eat fucking 5,000 milligrams of sodium a day. I add soy sauce to every single fucking meat that I have every goddamn day, and I don't pull salt before a competition, and I drink water right up to the fucking show. So it is not added salt, and it is not added fucking water, because all that shit stays in right up to the show. It is an inflammatory response that happens to almost everyone. Now, there is the exception where someone will eat stuff and it won't have an effect on them, and it'll take them longer to fill out, okay? The exceptions are a certain metabolism on a person and how depleted a person is. During the 2012, I believe it was, Maryland. No, 2013 Delaware. It took me probably 3 to 4 weeks to fully start getting that bloated feeling. Like, it was a lot of junk food that I was eating it was during my anabolic rebound. It took a lot of fucking food, and it was junk food, to get my body to do that for 4 weeks. I was depleted as fuck for the Delaware. And it was, it was almost disgusting how much I had to eat to get my weight back up to a normal place where I felt good and didn't feel like I was going to fucking die. But that was depending on how depleted I was. Now, again, how far do you push your body? Depends on how far your body springs back. Depends on how far you push your body in one direction. You push it far enough in one direction, it's going to spring back, but it may take time. But sooner or later, that will happen. You have that delayed response, which will trick you into thinking you can have those foods and it'll be fine. You will wake up one morning and be like, what the fuck just happened to me? It's bizarre. Seems almost instantaneously. As well as the same thing happens when you're getting lean. It could be like you're making slow progress, and you wake up one morning and you're like, what the fuck? You get veins coming through your abs, you feel shredded, and it happens seemingly overnight. There is delayed reactions in both ways of the metabolism like that. And until you're aware of that, you're never really fully in control because you don't know what's happening. You need to listen to your body, and you need to know what's happening, and when you push it, what it's going to do, and when it goes the opposite direction, what to do then. And that comes through experimentation and knowing, what nutrients to use, what to pull, and what to add, etc. Biosecurity@gmail.com. Leave comments down below, but don't fight. www.biosecurity.com is the blog, and where it's the delayed reaction bicep, and we're out.